push it yet. Let everyone come in. Say we're live. Oh!
Yeah.
Yeah, we're live.
We're live and I'm script. Alright, we're good.
Oh.
Tripping, we're live.
We're tripping. Alright, let me see what your lineup you got going on here.
I'll share
Gang.
Do all this?
No, just this. I'm
Gang
sorry.
shit.
My bad.
Oh,
Just this.
what the fuck?
Just that little segment right there.
Okay, I want to do the Mel LeBron thing first. Okay.
Gang, 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 gang.
Shut up.
Time is it? Oh, it's podcast time.
I guess I'll just ask you where we're going. Alright, everyone repost it.
Yep.
Cool. You want to start this thing up?
Yeah. I'm gonna run the front room.
That's fine. Everyone, mic on? That's your mic.
It's a red.
We good?
Yeah.
You can see us?
Yeah, looks good.
Cool.
Right?
Everyone saw? Yeah, we're good. Welcome into J&B Weekly Wrap-Up. I am Bobby Levine. Alongside me is my partner in crime, Jackson Schroeder.
What's going on, buddy?
And my NBA guy, of course, my great roommate, Matt Harrington, right next to me here.
Hey, how you doing?
That's Mr. Matt Harrington with
Hey,
us.
how you doing?
I was gonna say bastard, but not really. All right, so before we get things rolling here, we've got a couple of housekeeping ideas going on here. Max McDoolin, who is unfortunately with us this week, he lost his voice after a crazy Super Bowl. Jackson and I will get into that a little bit later. We got some apparel coming. Huge design about to drop this weekend. Moving forward, if you guys want to get in on this, we're going to also drop a website. Next week, we have the biggest episode yet. We're all going to have it Facebook Live. Once again, we're actually in Studio C, across the street over here in Schoonover at Ohio University. Hopefully get 20-plus people of audience members. Please, we'll start hitting you up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. My good friend behind us, Shane Dazen, will be taking care of that. You'll see him a little bit later in this episode. Could possibly have some huge writer opportunities. So if you're watching this and want to get involved with writing, this is going to be our own little I guess you could say Barstool Sports thing, but at Ohio University. We're not including that name at all yet. Could possibly happen in the future. So I guess we'll talk to you guys more about that moving forward. Just look out for us on the web with a new website and apparel dropping soon. I guess we'll just get right into the NBA.
We can get right into it.
Let's get in the NBA.
Let's get into it.
So last night, the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Cleveland Cavaliers, ended up going to Washington, played the Wizards with John Wall and Bradley Beal, had an unbelievable comeback. LeBron was fouled out in the very beginning of overtime after he hit an unreal fadeaway bank shot. I don't know if the bank was open or even called it, but it did go in. They ended up winning the game. What does this mean for the Cavaliers moving forward right now, Matt?
It's a big momentum booster, you know. Especially winning the game in the state capital with the Washington Wizards being on the big, you know, they're winning too. They're not a bad team as well. They're really winning. They're really coinciding with one another, or with each other. So this is a big win, especially when they're scoring 140 points in overtime. Not a lot of teams can score 140 points. So moving forward, it's just a matter of this mellow Kevin Love trade talk, which I think is total bullcrap. Kevin Love played his lights out last night. He scored 39 points. He had how many rebounds? I'm not sure. He had a lot of rebounds, which is what he usually does. And it's just a matter of the Cavaliers just keeping this momentum going forward and keeping the right mindset.
Yeah, man, the Cavs are back. They had that rough spell right there for a few games, but if you look at their past 6 games, they're 5-1, 3-game winning streak. Big win in the East over the Wizards last night. That was a really impressive way. A little bit of luck there, honestly, with LeBron. I don't think he knew where that was going. But yeah, I mean, sometimes shots will fall in your favor. Huge momentum booster for these guys. And I'm tired of hearing this Carmelo stuff. I'm tired of hearing
I'm
it.
so tired.
And Kevin Love knows the system. Maybe you have them equal skill-wise right now. Carmelo doesn't seem to play for anything, just for for
For a
himself,
paycheck.
even. Yeah.
Paycheck. That's $23 million.
But Kevin Love has been there. He's won a championship with Cleveland. He knows the system. Adding Carmelo, maybe. I've seen some talk about possibilities where they could drop some lower roster players and maybe bring him on as a fourth man alongside Kevin Love while keeping Kevin Love. But I'm just tired of it. I don't care about Carmelo being on the Cavs. They need to keep Kevin Love. He knows the system. Big role player, has been the leading scorer for them a lot of the season.
All right, so here's the final stats of last night's game. If you haven't seen it yet, go to ESPN, check out the highlights. It was an incredible game. It was all over the news all day today. Kevin Love, who everyone's talking about getting traded to the New York Knicks, finished with 39 points, 12 rebounds. He had 8 defensive rebounds and 4 offensive rebounds. LeBron James had 32 points, 17 assists. Tristan Thompson had 22 points and 12 rebounds. And the man that no one is talking about during this game, the reason why they won this game is Kyrie Irving. Without Kyrie Irving, this team would not be anywhere close to where they are.
No.
I don't understand why they even... I understand they're trying to get more people involved and trying to maybe get a trade with another big name in there, like Kyle Korver, who they got from Atlanta. They have the team.
LeBron's looking for a playmaker. He's got a playmaker.
He's got the
on
best
his team.
playmaker, I think, right now in the NBA, other than Russ Westbrook and Harden. He's incredible.
And you see
Yeah.
them coinciding last night because LeBron put up more assists than he's had in a long time. 17 assists, that's crazy.
He's the main playmaker.
Main playmaker, and that's the role that he needs to take.
Yeah.
He's got all these weapons around him. Let him make it, but don't force it upon him. Let him dish out the assists to the other playmakers that he already has. That I feel like he knows that he has, but he's just been overlooking them this season, especially during that rough spell.
Oh, he went absolutely off, though. Congrats to Kyrie Irving. Everyone knows here, all the Cavs fans watching this that know me know I'm not a big LeBron fan at all. I think he's a big crybaby. I think he wants to get his way. I understand that he got mad after the game about the Melo thing. We'll talk about this just shortly right now. But Kyrie I think he might be one of the best players right now in the NBA. Top 5.
I think he's like Steph. When the attention's not on him, he strives.
100%.
He strives.
100%.
He just goes off. He just balls out. He does what he knows how to do, and that's score and get buckets and be Uncle Drew.
See, I feel like he always does that, though, because he always makes those, especially against the Warriors in the finals last year and on Christmas Day in that Cavs victory over the Warriors. He's the clutch player for them. And really, if he's in the limelight or not, he's always being that clutch player. Sometimes he won't put up those 35, 40 points a game, but if you still look at him, he'll score. He'll still be the leading scorer.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Yeah,
he is possibly, well, you can't put him above LeBron, but he's a very, very valuable player on this Cavs organization.
When it comes down to points responsible for, that stat alone, him, Kyrie, and LeBron are top in the league. Like, Kyrie can score maybe 25 points a game and get maybe 8 assists a game. That's 33 points responsible for right there. And LeBron, the same thing. He can score 25 and get 12 assists. And that's 37 points. So right there, that's almost half of the team's points percentage. Excuse me. That's half of the team's percentage of points right there. So that's a big thing. Like, we can't refute that at all.
All right, so now let's move forward to after the game. There was a New York columnist, Frank Isola. You probably heard of the name. He's on Around the Horn all the time on ESPN. In my opinion, got false information on what's going on with the trade. Rumors around the New York Knicks and the Cleveland Cavaliers dealing Melo to the Cavs for Kevin Love. I don't know if LeBron hates or dislikes Kevin Love, but he doesn't want to start a feud if it doesn't happen.
No.
And he put the rumors to bed really quickly last night. He says he's tired of it. He said the reporter talking about Frank Isola is trash. What's your take on this and what's going on?
I mean, this guy's been a reporter for them for 16, 17 years.
He's very. I mean, you don't make it this far in this industry by making up lies. You get thrown out really quickly. And Frank Isola, in my opinion, is a very valuable name and very trustworthy name in this industry, I guess.
Definitely. So that being said, like, maybe the sources the source that wherever he got it from, maybe that person or people, they're trying to create a narrative going on right now, which seems to happen a lot in the NBA. But he's a very credible person. So LeBron just saying that, I just feel like that was very, off of impulse and just very emotional based off of LeBron. Because even
LeBron's been doing that a lot lately.
Definitely. So that's what I think. LeBron, I don't think he had really any time to delve into the topic. even the reporter, he didn't even get finished stating his statement before LeBron was like, yeah, I don't really know what you're talking about. And I think Frank Isola is trash.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know. Any more comments on that? That's all I got on it.
I just think LeBron needs to keep his mouth shut a little bit and start playing a little bit more. I mean, he's done a better job with that recently, but during that dry spell, it was excuse after excuse, and I'm just tired of hearing them.
Headline after headline.
You know what this reminds me of, though? This reminds me of when Kobe Bryant finally hit the age of 30, realized, you know what, I'm creating my own legacy, and he's going to take everything under his own wing, and he's going to run the ship himself. He doesn't take any answer for anyone else. Obviously, LeBron is the head coach on the Cavs.
He's the general manager.
He makes the final decision.
Yeah.
You got to pay for LeBron James because he's a giant baby. So you got to keep him happy. If he's happy, you're winning.
He's like Jerry Jones.
Yeah, 100%, but not as wealthy as Jerry Jones yet.
Obviously.
So moving forward, what else we got to talk about?
We have talking about Draymond and Durant. They're having a
little issue.
spats on the
So
sideline.
this happened. I don't know if you guys noticed this. They lost to the Sacramento Kings last week in Sacramento. A fan from the stands got a video on his cell phone of what looked like a little feud between Durant and the Draymond Green going at the very end after they lost the game. The game was over.
Yeah. And they're on the bench. They're just on the bench.
Looked like a player or two trying to step in, but it wasn't too much. At the end, Draymond sat down, and then Durant came over, said a couple of words, looked like he was over him, like a parent would be yelling at his child, and then everything kind of left, and they went their own separate ways. I don't know even if this is even worth talking about, though.
I just feel like this is just these guys, their competitive juices are flowing. Like, they want to win, they want to see the best out of each other, and I think Draymond is the one that's creating this rift between them right now because he wants to see that competitiveness out of KD. That night, he only shot 10 shots. He was 2 for 10. And there's no way, I mean, they can win when KD doesn't shoot as much, but they're usually going to win even more when KD is shooting 20 shots. Yep. He's 10 for 20. He's scoring 30 points. And that's what Draymond was, trying to point out. Like, bro, we need you to shoot the ball. Yep. We need you to score points. We need you to be involved on the offense. Yep. So that's definitely, I can see definitely Draymond's perspective on that.
I think Kevin Durant's been doing a good job this season of actually taking that role as the leader on the team. And this is just an example of one game that he sort of slacked off.
He can get that. He's a superstar. Yeah. He does this on a nightly basis. He's allowed.
And Draymond Green has, him and DeMarcus Cousins are the craziest, most hot-headed players in the league right now.
Yeah.
And Draymond's going to be headlines for losing his temper sometimes. It's just always, yeah.
I think he took over LeBron's persona being the most hated guy in the NBA. Last year he got involved with too many kicking incidents. He's kind of like the Duke situation going on with Grayson Allen, getting the bad boy look. But you know what? They already had the bad boy look when KD left OKC, and that goes right to my next topic. This week coming up for the Golden State Warriors is a huge week. They are off tonight. This is Tuesday night. Tomorrow night, Wednesday night, they are home playing the Bulls. Should be an easy win for them. Then they go on the road to Memphis on Friday night, then going back home for KD and OKC. This is the first time Kevin Durant is playing Russell Westbrook and company back at his own place where he played for so many years. How big is this game?
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Yeah. It's just overhyped then?
It's regular season.
So you're saying if it come, I guess, April, May, it's bigger?
March, the end of March, April, yeah, definitely May. Yeah, you can see that. Right now, this is just another headline game. Russ going off against KD.
It's bigger for Russ. Russ is the one that takes this personally. KD, I feel like, is just like over it. He came, he beat up on them. He's done with the whole thing. This is Russ trying to get back.
So when LeBron left in 2010, came back to Cleveland, he got a mixture of a couple cheers, a lot of boos. Does Kevin Durant get the same welcome back to OKC?
I think
he's going to get a lot of boos.
He's going to get a lot of boos. His situation, arguably, this is coming from a Cleveland fan, but his situation arguably is worse than LeBron's was because KD had that chance of winning he had a good chance of winning, or at least getting to the finals because last year they were up 3-1. One game away. And then he decides to go join the Golden State Warriors, who
can't beat them, join.
Yeah, exactly, and that's a bad attitude. I'm sure all those Oklahoma City fans feel that same way and are very bitter about this. So.
Definitely.
So staying in the team in the South there, a little bit south of them, that's the Dallas Mavericks. Picked up an old Indiana alumni. I guess now you want to talk about the story?
He's a guy that's very, I don't want to say it's very synonymous, but his gameplay resembles that a little bit of Isaiah Thomas. You might know him.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
He
can go ahead, Smith.
I thought you were, okay, Yogi Ferrell from Indiana, the Hoosiers, basketball state. I think the tie, which is great, is Mark Cuban, the owner. Graduated from Indiana, huge Hoosier basketball fan.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
Didn't know that.
Learn something new every day. Always goes back and supports the Hoosiers.
Mhm.
Obviously, the last couple years, the Hoosiers have had an unbelievable basketball program. You see Oladipo playing big-time minutes now in the NBA.
Mhm.
And now you see Yogi Ferrell getting a 10-day contract. And is he taking advantage of this?
Yeah. I feel like, why isn't this talked about more?
I don't know. I don't know why it's not.
I feel like the storyline is a great, I don't know what to say, but like,
It's a feel-good story.
yeah, exactly. It's a feel good story. Like, if you were making a 2K My Player
Yeah.
for next season, for 2K18 or whatever, they should have you start off as a 10-day contract and you work your way up. I mean, I feel like that's a perfect Cinderella story. It gives guys that urgency, that other guys don't have on the team because they already have their contract, so they're probably just out there working another game, playing for the fans, blah blah blah. But he's trying to work for a livelihood. He's trying to work for a spot in the roster. This isn't a game. And
No.
he scored 32 points, 9 3-pointers, and he hit a clutch dagger 3 against the Trailblazers, who are no joke as well with Damian Lillard and C.J. McCollum. Yogi Ferrell, he's doing his thing. I can't wait to see what he's doing in the future. Hopefully he does this some more as a team that is in dire need of a playmaker point guard. Because Darren Williams is getting old.
Go ahead. Anything else you want to say?
Couldn't have said it better myself.
I mean, it kind of reminds me not of I guess you could say Rudy situation.
Not really.
not to the aspect of him never being that good of a player. I mean,
Yogi.
exactly. I mean, it fits it. But Yogi Ferrell's an undersized guy in the NBA.
5'11", maybe 5'10" on the.
I mean, even 5'11's pushing it.
Yeah,
I think even him at Indiana, when they had him listed at that, it was a stretch to make him look better.
Mhm.
But having such a 30-plus, I mean, it almost feels like a Jeremy Lin Part 2.
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't pan out like Jeremy.
No,
I
think
Jeremy. I hate Jeremy.
I think it was a feel-good
Oh,
story.
that
as
was a
well.
great story, but I just hate him now.
Right now, the Dallas Mavericks are at home playing the Portland Trailblazers. They're
Again.
3 games out of the playoffs there in the West. They're down by 5, middle of the third quarter. Yogi Ferrell right now has 5 points, but everyone else, Dirk has 12, Harrison Barnes has 19, and Matthews has 17. I mean, hopefully a late second half comeback by Yogi Ferrell lights up the Mavericks. I mean, you got to root for the guy.
Yeah.
There's no way you don't root for the guy. So good luck to Yogi Ferrell, the IU products, and the Dallas Mavericks. I mean, it's kind of hard rooting against Dirk because Dirk's also a great guy. And I guess you go from there. What else you got? Anything
We
else?
have a couple more things. Boogie Cousins.
Boogie
won't
Cousins.
be traded. GMs have confirmed that recently here. He will not be traded before the 23rd of February trade deadline. And the Pelicans are vying to make a trade as they begin their stretch of being hot. They're hot right now. They're trying to make a trade for the Sixers' Jahlil Okafor.
Okay.
So that's pretty big news to watch out for here. Even bigger for the Cousins. Even bigger for the Kings because people have always speculated, where's Boogie going? Is he going to the Cavs, trading for Kyrie, or not Kyrie, but Kevin Love? Is he going to the Lakers? He's getting traded for D'Angelo Russell and Brandon Ingram, something like that. Where is he going? And now we have confirmation he's going nowhere. Which leads to the question, are the Kings allowing DeMarcus Cousins to act like this? Or is there another, backstory behind it? I'm not really too sure. But for the draft, they need a playmaker.
They do.
Darren Collinson, he's a great guy and all, but he's not going to make the cut as a starting point guard. Rudy Gay, he's getting older, so they need to address some free agency issues. So it'll be interesting to see what the Kings do in the front office.
I feel like DeMarco.
DeMarco Murray.
Yeah. Cousins, he's gonna be like a I can't speak right now. Knicks, Carmelo Anthony.
Carmelo?
Yeah, I feel like there's a chance of him being like a Carmelo Anthony situation with the New York Knicks, where he goes there, he's this big name, he gets stuck there. They never really do that well. They never bring in people around him, and he just sort of goes off like that. And that's disappointing because he's such a great player. And I feel like he's got more drive than Carmelo does. He's got that drive to be with a good organization and win some playoff games, possibly contend for a championship. And it's just difficult to see this because I was rooting for him to leave Sacramento.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's his choice. It's that organization's choice. But I do hope that they put some weapons around him there.
Yeah. So apparently, to a source that I see right here, the Suns actually tried to make a trade for him for small forward T.J. Warren.
Wait, so they want another Kentucky product?
Yeah, this is last week.
So they would have how many? 5 guys on that team from Kentucky?
Well, they would have lost. They would have added another Kentucky product, so that would have been 5 or 6.
That's ridiculous.
Wow. Kentucky U. That's what you get when you produce ball players. But anyways, they would have made a trade for T.J. Warren, center Alex Lynn, and a future first-round pick for Cousins. And they turned that down. So it'll be interesting to see what's the play at hand that moves forward.
Anything
Going
else?
Forward. That's it for me.
Before you leave, when we talk about the Super Bowl moving forward, I want to give a huge shout out to your bet. Hopefully everyone's American here and watch the Super Bowl. I mean, it's just the thing you do on Sunday. You got to watch the Super Bowl.
Sundays are for the boys.
Yes, Sundays are not for the boys if it's Super Bowl Sunday. Huge game. 28-3 in the third quarter, and Tom Brady does his thing. Now the 5-time Super Bowl champion, 4-time MVP of a Super Bowl gets it done. Matt wins $20 from me.
Greatness. Like, what more can you? Bobby's going off this whole time. Like, yes, I'm getting $20.
Okay, you were on the couch with your head in your hand eating my appetizers.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You love my
He's
spaghetti.
lying.
Don't lie. We had a great day.
Spaghetti's an appetizer?
No, my meatballs were the appetizers, but I made a whole bunch of spaghetti. I want to
Usually put those together.
huge shout out to Chris Constable, though. He won the appetizer challenge. I don't know if you had his bruschetta. Incredible.
Bruschetta.
I got to my second place with my
How do you
skyline.
even spell that? Like,
Oh, so
bruschetta.
you had bruschetta?
Whatever.
Question mark? And then we had my meatballs, skyline chili dip involved with that.
And Shannon's dish.
You like Shannon's dish?
I voted for Shannon.
All right,
I
well,
put
Shannon,
dish.
I don't think Shannon's watched, but I'll tell her that tonight.
Yeah.
Congrats to her.
It's all good.
There you go.
Shannon knows I like it.
Well, Matt, thank you so much. I'm going to take the mic from you. You come on the last segment.
Okay.
We got the NFL to talk about. All right.
This one.
You take that one? Cool. All right, well, we're going to talk about the Super Bowl. Again, huge comeback involving the Patriots once again. An unbelievable Super Bowl finish. We got to talk about the overtime rules, though.
Okay.
To start off first, do we get a new overtime rule in place for playoffs where both teams get a chance regardless?
I'm not. I don't. I would like to say that I like college's rules, but I don't. I don't like the NCAA rules either.
Really?
It's a tricky situation. Yeah, I mean, part of me wants to play the full quarter, and then the winner of that quarter is the winner of the game. But that also it brings it's such an advantage to getting the first kickoff.
Yes.
See,
Okay, so everyone says the same thing. Atlanta should have never blown the lead, yes. But they still should get a chance in overtime regardless. So, in my opinion, even if Tom Brady scores a touchdown and gets the extra point, Atlanta still gets one chance, and that's it. And then after that, it's first one to score.
That seems reasonable to me.
Because first off, I don't think anyone in the right mind wanted that game to end because of how great that finish was. I mean, I've never seen a finish like that. Maybe the last time I saw a comeback like that was the divisional, or it might have been the wild card round when the Colts were down big to the Kansas City Chiefs, and Andrew Luck with LeVon Brazil and OU product had like 2 touchdowns that game in the second half, came back and won that game. They were down like 24 points and beat Alex Smith. Huge comeback there, but not in a stage this big. I mean, there's no way Tom Brady was like, you know what, I'm going to come back and win this game. 19 points in the 19-0 run, in the fourth quarter alone. They were down 25 to end up coming back and winning that whole thing. The biggest play I had on this whole game was a Julio Jones catch. One of the best catches I've seen. He ends up getting his feet down inside the 30-yard line with under 6 minutes to go. Atlanta has 170-plus ways to win this ball game and only one way to lose the game, and they find the only way to lose the game.
Hit a 99.6% chance to win the game going into the fourth.
They could have taken 3 knees at that point, set up a Matt Bryant long field goal,
And he could have hit it, too.
gone up by 11 with under 5 minutes to go and won that ball game. The next play, Matt Ryan drops back to throw, gets sacked, and takes him out of field goal range. It's like Matt Ryan's a veteran player, but doesn't do a veteran play right there. It's just very frustrating. I mean, they had to
It was Devontae Freeman who missed the block completely.
run the ball with Devontae Freeman, who was running over
5
everybody.
times. They ran the ball 5 times since the halftime.
It was incredible how much running room he had in that whole game. It was just running over this defense, who was supposedly a great defense.
Hats off to that offensive line for sure. That
Yeah.
offensive line there were huge holes. You could have ran through those holes, Bobby.
Oh, I was running Madden. I played Madden that night. No, but I mean,
Real
what
quick.
were you? I mean, I know. It sucks. I mean, you're from the Georgia State, Atlanta area, kind of with Savannah.
Well,
Savannah's down.
Yeah,
that's
it's down.
by
It's
the
down.
coast.
Regardless, it's the same state. You should
Same
root for,
state, yeah.
I guarantee there's a lot of diehard Falcon fans where you're from.
definitely.
Probably very heartbreaking to know that you're like Boston's little brother. The only thing right now you got going for you is Migos.
I'm gonna let that one just simmer out.
But anyways, I mean, what was it? 30 now it's 38-1 in championships in the last how many years? They
Yeah,
showed
that was
stat?
ridiculous. I saw these kids today on Facebook. They were holding up signs at the Patriots parade for winning, and 11-year-old kid, he was holding up a sign that said, "I'm 11 years old. I've been to 8 championship parades." The 8 championship parades in the past 11 years.
Selfish.
We got an update on that. 13 years old now. He has 9. So
Wow.
No, that's his brother. I saw that. That's his brother.
brother?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was holding the sign just like it.
So-
they're a very lucky family.
I'm a Bengals fan. I've been to the playoffs 7 times in my lifetime, which I'm still thankful for, and I still have yet to come away with a single playoff victory. I want to give a huge shout out though right now. Seth Jones hits a overtime winner against the Detroit Red Wings. The last time the Jackets will play in Detroit at their arena, very historic arena. There it is. We'll
We
have
don't
Shane
give a
Hazen come
damn
on.
for the whole state of Michigan because we're from Ohio.
There we go. Seth Jones, baby, 22-year-old with a nice saucer. I guess you can say Thin Mints upper 90 there. But back to the Super Bowl. I guess you want to say anything else? What are you more worried for next year? You just lost Shanahan, but you picked up a huge offensive coordinator. You want to talk about that? Did you hear about that today?
My going forward, I don't think that the Falcons are going to be this good next year. I think that there was momentum with them. I still think they've got a great offense, but that defense was playing out of their minds, and that's due to their coaching. I mean, they don't have those defensive playmakers. They got so much better as the season went on. And even though I would love to see the Falcons back in the Super Bowl or make a late playoff run, I just don't think that it's going to happen. Matt Ryan had the best season of his career, won the MVP as he should have, but it just shows you that he isn't one of the elite quarterbacks in the NFL right now, making those plays like he did down the stretch, and it's just very concerning. But that's where the Falcons stand. I mean, that's how I view this Super Bowl game. It's like the Falcons surprised New England. Their offense surprised the New England defense, and more importantly, their defense surprised Tom Brady. We all saw him sitting there with his head down. Yeah. But
He
then
said a special prayer there.
Yeah.
I need that prayer for life.
Well, I mean, I think he might be best friends with God. He's the GOAT.
But it's just New England they know how to win, and they went into the locker room. Belichick, with his cool, calm composure, was like, "Well, we lost that half, and now we're going to win this one."
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's what they did. I mean, they came out. Tom Brady came out with a vengeance, guns blazing, and he just I feel like it was middle of the fourth quarter, and the commentators said, just by the way, Tom Brady has 410 yards passing to this point. Mm-hmm. He finished with 466. How do you do that just without being noticed? That is
He
that's
threw
very
the ball
Tom Brady.
62 times.
Yeah.
They abandoned the run game very early on when Blunt fumbles the ball, and it leads to another huge score there for Atlanta. They go up 14-0, and you're thinking to yourself, if they don't have a run game, Tom Brady, there's no way you can have a 39-year-old quarterback
Tom
put the
Brady
team
we're
on his
talking
back, but he does it year in and year out.
Year out.
The question is, how long can he do it? And I guess we'll see moving forward. Right next to him on the parade today was Garoppolo, a huge win. We're going to talk about this with Shane moving forward, about the questions. Everyone that asked questions earlier today, we're going to get to them. We're going to save the college basketball one till next week, and also the NHL one till next week, because we'll have Shane on for that. We're going to have Shane come in here. I guess we have Shane come on now if you want
Come
to.
on, Shane. Come on over.
Come
man.
on in.
Come
Come on
on
in, Shane.
Let's pop a squat right over there.
Should I throw a chair in here too?
If you can, yeah, we'll move Shane Dazen in here. I'm sorry you lost the Super Bowl. I was
So
so
you want to
mad.
adjust the camera a little
Yeah,
bit?
you want to get that, Mateen? Mateen Ozacek is behind the scenes. My main man is going to keep this thing going, hopefully. Make sure, can you still see us?
Yeah.
Family, what's up?
The family, absolutely. We're
We're
missing.
doing questions now.
We're doing questions now. Let me go to my Facebook. We'll get the questions going. Matt and I will share a mic. You guys will share your mic over there. So the first
There's
question. Just going to scoot in a little bit. We'll scoot over.
Get cozy back here.
I want to see all you guys at home.
We'll take this off. All right, so we're still live here on Facebook Live. Everyone's still watching. Thank you for that. Let's get to questions here. We're going to get like 3 questions. We'll get everyone's take on this one. With Tom Brady, this came in from Ty Neff, my old roommate a couple years ago, now live in Plano, Texas.
Ty Neff.
Ty Neff, thank you very much. Would Tom Brady be considered the GOAT if he would have lost Super Bowl 51, or did he need the Super Bowl win to solidify his greatness? So, regardless, would he have been the GOAT if he would have lost, even just making it there, or this comeback solidify him as the greatest of all time? We'll start with you.
I definitely don't think that he would have not been considered the GOAT had he lost the Super Bowl. I think Tom Brady's resume speaks to itself. His credentials are astronomical. They're far beyond what any quarterback has ever done to this point, and probably will do in the future too. So Tom Brady, definitely the benchmark for quarterbacks. I think obviously winning the Super Bowl really, really, really puts the hard drive on his legacy there. 5 Super Bowls, no quarterback's ever done that before, so that's huge, obviously. But I definitely think it would have sullied it a little bit, but it definitely wouldn't have diminished from the fact that he is the greatest of all time now.
Definitely.
Matt, you want to talk about you?
I'm going to agree with him. Like, that's a yes for me, Daniel. He doesn't. Thing is, he's been to so many Super Bowls. We question him time after time, and we just witnessed why he is the greatest quarterback. If we didn't know, now we know. Like, he's the greatest of all time ever. I don't mean that's all I can really say. He's the greatest of all time ever, and I feel honored to have watched that performance. That's how I feel. That's all I got.
So this is how I'm going to look at it. He just solidified it that he is the best of all time, and he would have been the best of all time regardless. You look at stats. You got passing yards and touchdowns, and you've got Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning runs that boat. And then you've got Super Bowls, and you got Joe Montana and Terry Bradshaw. You know who has both of those? Tom Brady. Tom Brady is in the top 5 for both passing yards and touchdowns. He's got 61,582 yards in his career, and all-time touchdowns he has 456, and now he leads the NFL in all-time Super Bowl wins. I mean, without a doubt, he is the best, and he would have been the best even if he would have still had 4, because his stats are better than Bradshaw and Montana.
You look at, as greatness people, you look at trophies. You look at Michael Phelps in the poll, you see 23 gold medals.
Yeah.
That's the most of all time. He's the greatest swimmer of all time, maybe one of the best Olympians of all time, but it's hard
Olympian.
to put Olympians on a different plateau because they're different sports. Football-wise, Tom Brady has 5 Super Bowl rings in my entire lifetime. He's been the most dominant quarterback when it comes to postseason.
Yeah.
Now, being said that, I want to put this one out there just for jokes. If he's the greatest of all time, the only man to beat him in a Super Bowl is Eli Manning. So that's another discussion for another day. I'll go with Peyton Manning being the best regular season quarterback, as he used to start out year after year 10-0, 11-1, and would get that number 1 seed, but then could not capitalize when it mattered the most
Because of Tom Brady.
because of Tom Brady or because he choked in a Super Bowl.
So, yeah.
So-
Or his team around him.
Don't blame them on that.
Yeah.
Don't blame it on that. If you're the greatest all time, you get it done. If you look at the receiving core from the Atlanta Falcons to the New England Patriots, you'll take the Atlanta Falcons receiving core all day over the New England Patriots. But Tom Brady gets it done year in and year out with no-name receivers if they left their team or brought up with another team.
He knows how to work with his guys.
He does. He knows how to work with his guys. The next question leads right into what you were talking about of all time. This comes from my best friend, Steve Swan.
Steve Swan?
He had some good sliders.
Oh, delicious.
I've never seen a guy eat more sliders in my life.
It was only 3. Come on.
You ate more than anyone else at the party.
Where am I invited to this party? I want some.
You
of
gotta
this
know
food.
the
You guys know
boys.
we're talking about
You
this
gotta know the
food.
boys. So 5 times, his question comes in, 5-time Super Bowl champion, now 4-time MVP, Tom Brady, that's who we're referring to, who's been talking about this all week, is obviously the greatest quarterback of all time, as we agreed. What are the other 4, you could say, greatest quarterbacks of all time or of our generation? So I'll let you guys decide what you're going to answer the question-wise, and if you want to go first, Jackson, you can.
Okay, well, I can try to speak to all time, but we all know that none of us watch Bradshaw or Montana play, so we can only speak towards stats and film that we've watched of them playing, just reruns and stuff. But Tom Brady is my number 1. I already said that. Peyton Manning, I love him. I love everything he's done. He's the leader in passing yards and passing touchdowns. He's the regular season king, but that's his downfall. He has 2 Super Bowl rings, which is good, but doesn't compare to the 5 that Brady has now, or the 4 that Montana and Bradshaw have. You got to throw in stats-wise. You got to throw in Drew Brees in there, especially for our generation. He is an example of a great quarterback that has not had the weapons around him, and when he does have weapons around him, he has great seasons. He won a Super Bowl a few years back. Did some great things with Jimmy Graham when he had a weapon there.
Yep.
You got to throw in Dan Marino, and I don't know. I hate him, but Big Ben is great too.
Mine, I'm going to go with, of course, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, for all the reasons that Jackson over here stated. My third one is going to be Michael Vick. Michael Vick.
Ooh, of all time.
Yeah, of all time. He changed
Not
the
of our
game.
generation, but of all
Of
time.
all time. He changed the game. When have we ever seen a quarterback?
Warren
besides-
Moon.
Warren Moon, Randall Cunningham, of course, blah, blah, blah. But this guy, like, he's a video game.
Yeah. He was the Bo Jackson-esque cheat code.
Man, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Play with him on Madden. Everybody knew that he was just running the ball. Get to the sideline. He's going to the touchdown.
Yep.
Michael Vick, he changed the game. He was revolutionary. In terms of, like, playing style, he's very synonymous with that of Allen Iverson.
Yes.
And it's crazy that they're both from the same place, actually. If you didn't know that, now you know. They're from Baton News, Virginia, I believe is what it's called.
I'll look it up.
So, yeah, that's my third. My fourth, I still have, that's a toss-up for me. I'm going to go with Donovan McNabb. Because I'm an Eagles fan, so there's a little bias.
Pull out some guys
crazy
that never won a single Super Bowl. Mike Vick never even got to the
I
Super
wouldn't
Bowl.
even put Donovan McNabb.
I know.
I think these are his favorite.
Yeah, this is his favorite Madden. This is Madden's
It's a little
favorite
biased.
Madden players of all time.
Yeah,
but keep
Madden.
going, man. You know, this is your
But
opinion.
these are guys that I watched growing up.
So this is our generation.
No,
It's
our
like,
generation. These are guys that I've single-handedly watched and just tore defenses apart.
Yeah.
So Donovan McNabb and Michael Vick, those are my 3 and 4.
And who's your fifth guy?
My fifth?
Oh, man, I don't know if we're ready for this.
Hell no. Hell no.
Johnny Manziel.
Johnny Manziel.
Yeah.
Yeah. My fifth. Let me think about it. Let me think. Come back to me on that.
All right, we'll come back.
I don't know how I'm gonna one up him there. That was a couple really solid picks, but I actually really thought the Michael Vick pick was interesting. Michael Vick pick was interesting because I was reading an article the other day about Michael Vick, and he was quoted as saying that he thought he belonged in the Hall of Fame, and he thought, in his opinion, he was a first ballot shoe-in Hall of Fame candidate, and I think that he really did revolutionize the game. But when you look at who wins on the field, and you look at the types of quarterbacks that get the job done and get job done in the Super Bowl, they're conventional pocket passers. They're guys that stay in the pocket and responsible plays with football. Not
But
that
they're
what
not
Michael
good at
Vick.
it,
Yeah,
man.
what that.
We're not gonna
But
say
they're not good at it.
that-
But yeah, not that Michael Vick didn't
Yeah.
make responsible plays with the football because he made some incredible plays that he wouldn't have made had he not, gone on the edge to do them. But
Yeah.
at the same time, guys who get it done at the end of the season in February are guys who are pocket passers. So with that being said, I think, I guess we're going to go with era or all time. I can do a little bit of both.
Whatever you want.
All right, yeah, real quick for that. I'll run through the era and then I'll do a little bit of talk for an all time.
Okay.
Run through the era real quick. 1 through 5 for me. 1 is definitely obviously Tom Brady's number 1. 2, I'd go with Aaron Rodgers, just
Aaron Rodgers.
based on the
fifth, by the
pedigree.
way.
Based on the pedigree. Peyton Manning, number 3. Him and Rodgers, obviously a toss up. Those 3 at the top are just really hard to go
Yeah.
through. They're all very good at what they do. But Drew Brees at number 4 for me. Stats speak for themselves. I think what he was alluding to. I don't know about the weapons being a problem for him. I think his defense has been a real issue for him in New Orleans. The Saints defense is atrocious.
They've
but
been year in.
yeah, their
year
scoring
out.
offense has actually been very, very good in the last couple of years. They just can't stop the ball. But number 5 for me, Ben Roethlisberger. I know it's a little bit of a Pittsburgh bias, but the guy's got 2 Super Bowls, been to 3. The numbers speak for themselves too. Other than Tom Brady, Ben Roethlisberger has the second fewest interceptions on that list. So very efficient passer, gets his yards, got a lot of weapons to work with there in Pittsburgh. But all time, real quick, couple guys that made the list on the generational side are also going to be on this one for me. Tom Brady, number 1, all time. Joe Montana, number 2 for me. 4-0 in the Super Bowl, can't argue with that. He's perfect. Number 3 for me, Johnny Unitas.
Okay.
Interesting
Going
pick.
way
Yeah,
back in the
I mean, all I've seen on him is clips and videos and things of that nature. But he is also a Pittsburgh product, and I've heard some, wonder stories about him growing up in the past. So, seeing him on film and what he did to revolutionize the quarterback position in his time, I think, is valuable for the NFL.
Yep.
And number 4 and 5, I think, could be a little bit of a toss-up here between 3 guys. Couldn't really decide, but between Manning, Rodgers, and John Elway, I put in there too in the conversation. I think Terry Bradshaw also gets some consideration for his perfect Super Bowl record as well. But if you look at his stats outside that, they're not really elite. So he got it done on the big stage, but he also had a lot of interceptions. That also came early on in his career when the Steelers were kind of finding themselves out. So he gets an honorable mention. But really, any choice you have here is probably a good one. These are all pretty solid quarterbacks. Yeah.
So I'm gonna look at just the generation thing because it's so hard to put a quarterback in this era to the era back in the 90s and 80s, even before that. If you have Unitas, as you said, so I'm gonna go with number 5. Just so fun to watch. The guy was just a gunslinger, Brett Favre. Played for so long and just
I was thinking
so many good years the guy put up, even with the Vikings. When he's way after his prime, had a chance in the NFC Championship. Got what kind of gate was that? The Bounty Gate in New Orleans. He was beating his literally guts out of him. I'm gonna go with Aaron Rodgers at 4. Another Green Bay Packer, still playing. He's really, really, really good still. Number 3, I'm gonna have Peyton Manning. I think great regular season guy, couldn't get the job done in the postseason. And that's why I have number 2, is Ben Roethlisberger.
like it.
I hate Big Ben. I think he's a horrible person, but the dude gets the job done, and I envy all my Pittsburgh fans. Even friends, including you, Shane, getting the job done every year. 2 years ago, beating my Bengals in the playoffs. And number 1, Tom Brady. So before we go, the last question I have for you, again, comes from Steve Swan. Yes or no, answer real quickly. Will Tom Brady get a 6th ring before it's all said and done? He's right now 39. He'll be 40 next season. Can he still do it?
I'm going to answer this one first. I'm going to say that he can still do it. He's got 2 or 3 seasons left in his belt, and he's got a great team and coach around him, Bill Belichick, and he's going to have Gronk back next season too. That's just a Super Bowl team adding your best playmaker besides Tom Brady, and they are the team to beat now. They will be for the next few years until Brady and Belichick both leave. And I don't know if I can for sure say that he will, but in these next 2 or 3 years, I see them getting to the Super Bowl at least once.
Matt?
That's a yes for me, Daniel. So pretty much it depends on what their draft need is.
Okay.
Last year they didn't have a first-round pick, did they?
No.
Yeah, because of the whole scandal.
Yeah, before you get suspension with Tom Brady.
Yeah, exactly. So this year, I feel like they can address a dire need, which is if they get like a really good playmaker out at receiver or running back, whoever's there, a skill position player, maybe offensive line, tight end, because Martellus been getting pretty old. Gronkowski shows that he's getting some injuries. He's getting older as well. So maybe you can address that. But either way, I feel like that's a yes. Like, we've seen the best of Tom Brady, and I feel like we can see more, definitely. Pretty much. So that's a yes for me.
Okay.
Tom Brady's a robot. This guy just doesn't stop. I mean, he's going on his 40th year of age here, and he's getting better and better every single year. 7 straight AFC Championship appearances. What's to say that he's not in the cards for him? You know, at this point, it's just become a regularity for the Patriots to be in, you know, either their conference title game or in the Super Bowl. I think that Tom Brady definitely has what it's in, has what it takes to play another 4 or 5, maybe even 6 seasons in the NFL if he keeps his conditioning up and he takes care of his body the way that he has, in the past. There's nothing stopping him from grabbing another one. Bill Belichick, if he stays in the fold there,
definitely.
New England's got a well-oiled machine. They are the mothership of all
Never
NFL
called them
teams.
out.
You know, Goodell is absolutely furious at what happened.
Yeah, that was kind of funny watching
It was
that press conference. the other
really
day.
awkward, the whole situation. Obviously, Commissioner Goodell got booed the entire trophy ceremony. That he was up there for maybe a minute. He knew that he was not a Giant fan, not even a good fan. No one likes him in New England. Ended up leaving, obviously, tried to shake Tom Brady's hand, which he got a handshake. I was actually mad that Tom Brady shook his hand. I thought it would have been so funny if it had been like,
That would have been a great story.
See
He
ya.
just whipped his hair.
yeah,
away.
like, full moves. Having that 4-game suspension, I still get my ring. To answer the question, I'm going to say no. I think this is it. I think you have to hit a certain age before you peak. And it gets so hard when you get to 40. Your body starts breaking down. And Brett Favre has said that multiple times. He said once he got to that age, it's so hard getting your body mentally ready and prepared every week, knowing that, you know what, there could be a hit that takes you out.
Mm-hmm.
And it only takes that one hit. You can't get hit like you were when you were in your 20s anymore.
That's because Brett Favre, he was the gunslinger.
He was
the
a
one
gunslinger.
running outside the pocket, throwing on the run.
But
Like,
Jarrett,
he's-
97 for Atlanta, got to Brady a couple times and hit him really hard, and it just
Yeah.
takes that
Prior-
Very true.
one
Prior
time.
to that Super Bowl game, though, which honestly I kind of feel was a little bit of an outlier for the Patriots' offensive line there. I feel like they've done a really nice job
Yes.
of protecting.
Well, they
Brady.
always do. I mean, you look at Dallas. The reason why they were so good is they had the best offensive line. You get a good offensive line or a great offensive line, it's going to take you.
They're the staple.
so
Yeah, he's their biggest
Yes,
investment.
100%.
And you have to invest.
But again, one time and that can end it. Look at Gronk. He gets hit one time in the knee, takes him out.
Sure.
Anything can happen. That's the NFL. I'm going to say no, that was it. I guarantee he still makes the playoffs. I still think he goes far, but I don't think they'll win the Super Bowl. And episode, you look at that. He gets on it, love it. I've got Matt here who's going to be doing the NBA with us. We're going to have a couple new games that he was mentioning to me before the episode, or before the show is on live. Jackson, of course, the J and the B in this. Max McDoulin's going to be coming with some apparel, and we could have some writers taking over our webpage that will drop hopefully later this week or weekend. So, from everyone here at J&B Weekly Wrap Up, even Mateen back here, thank you so much.
Producer.
Thank you, Mateen.
Huge week coming up. He's going to have his entire film crew. He's the captain of that part. Again, from everyone here at J&B Weekly Wrap Up, everyone have a great night and be safe.
One love.
Turn that off. You can shut that
We're
off.
good.